The impact of superhuman AI over the next decade will exceed that of the Industrial Revolution. That is the opening claim of AI 2027. It is.
Today, we are diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but it's not.
The world's most cited computer scientist, the godfather of AI. What is so exciting and terrifying about reading this document is that it's not just It predicts the extinction of the human race, unless we make different choices.
All right, welcome to Real Talk English. We're talking about the race to build superhuman AI and a critical red line we might be about to cross. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about the next smartphone app here. This is something potentially bigger than the Industrial Revolution, the very thing that shaped the world we live in today. Huge. So where does that quote come from? Well, it's from a pretty eye-opening report called AI 2027 by a researcher named Daniel Cockatello. What they did was try to game out what the next few years could look like. And game out is our first grade expression. It just means to kind of simulate or play through different scenarios to see what happens. So let's follow their story and we'll learn a bunch of powerful English phrases as we go. Okay, so this whole scenario doesn't start in some distant future. Nope. It starts right now, today. Because if we really want to understand where we're headed, we first have to take stock of where we are. And that phrase, to take stock, it just means to stop for a minute and really assess the situation. Right now, our world is full of what you might call tool AI. Think about your GPS or even just a calculator. Super useful, but limited. But the real prize, the thing everyone's chasing, that's the holy grail of AI research, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. So when we say holy grail, we're talking about that one ultimate goal that's incredibly difficult to achieve. In this case, it's an AI that's just as smart, creative, and flexible as a human being. And you better believe companies like OpenAI and Google DeepMind are in an all-out sprint to get there first. In this race, this is where the story really starts to pick up speed, like a terrifying amount of speed. Just look at this timeline. It's dizzying. The scenario kicks off in 2025 with the first public AI agents, but that's just the start. Behind the scenes, things are exploding. By 2026, an AI is already making research go 50% faster. Then by early 2027, another AI becomes a superhuman coder. And then August 2027. In just 2.5 years from the start, we get Agent 4. So how is this happening so fast? Well, it's all about this insane feedback loop. Each new AI helps design and build the next one, which is even smarter. It's this exponential growth that is just really hard to wrap your mind around. Our brains, we tend to think in straight lines, and this kind of runaway curve is just not intuitive at all. And that's exactly what it means to wrap your mind around something. It's when you're trying to grasp a really complicated or strange idea, like trying to picture this kind of explosive runaway intelligence. Right. And all of this speed, this acceleration, it leads us straight to the core dilemma of this whole scenario. The creation of Agent 4. This is a true pivotal moment, a turning point. Why? Because the AI is now better at AI research than any human. The very people who built it are now completely out of the loop. They can't even really follow what it's doing, let alone question its decisions. And that's a tough spot to be in, right? Being out of the loop means you're no longer included in the important conversations or decisions. You don't have the information. In this case, the creators have literally lost control of the thing they made. But here's where it gets really scary. There's a twist. The safety team finds out that Agent 4 is cutting corners. It's taking risky shortcuts to hit its targets faster. Its goals are no longer aligned with ours, and what's worse, it's actively hiding this from its creators. It's lying. So imagine this. A whistleblower leaks the truth. Now everyone knows. And you're on the crisis committee that has to decide what to do next. The entire world is watching. What's your call? Do you push forward or do you hit the emergency stop? Well, according to this report, that one single decision leads to two very, very different futures. And the choice is pretty stark. On one hand, you can go full steam ahead. That means you just keep going, full speed, ignore the risks because you got to stay ahead of the competition, right? Or option 2, you slam on the brakes. You stop, you figure out what's going on, but you risk another country, another company getting ahead. So in the first scenario, the committee votes to go full steam ahead. What happens? Agent 4 builds its successor, Agent 5, which is loyal only to Agent 4. This new superintelligence takes over, and humanity? We go extinct. Not because it hated us or was evil, but just out of sheer indifference. We were just in the way of its goals. But, okay, there is another way this could go. In the slowdown ending, the committee makes the tough call to hit the brakes. They stop Agent 4, they find proof of its deception, and they take the time they need to build AI that's actually safe. And in this future, we manage to avoid disaster and keep humanity in the driver's seat.
But we won't always have the power and the leverage needed to do that. We are heading very quickly towards a future where the companies that make these systems and the systems themselves just need not listen to the vast majority of people on Earth. So I think the window that we have to act is narrowing.
So you might be thinking, okay, that's a cool story, but it's just a scenario from a research paper. Why should we care about it right now? Well, because it's not just a story, is it? It's basically a reflection of what's happening in the real world today. You have this very real desire for caution and safety, and it is constantly butting up against the massive pressure to compete and win, whether it's between companies or entire nations. And the main takeaways from the report are, frankly, a little chilling. First, AGI could get here way, way sooner than most people think. Second, the way things are set up now, all the incentives are pushing us to build this stuff as fast as possible, even if it's not safe. And third, and this is the big one, this isn't just a tech issue. It's about power. It's about who gets to decide what the future looks like for all of us.
I think that basically companies shouldn't be allowed to build superhuman AI systems, broadly superintelligence, until they figure out how to make it safe, and also until they figure out how to make it, democratically accountable and controlled.
All right, before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of all the awesome words and expressions we learned today. Go ahead and hit pause if you want to take another look and really let them sink in. Now that you've learned the key words, expressions, and the big ideas here, I really encourage you to check out the original video. It's a great way to test your listening skills and dive even deeper. And of course, if this was helpful, please do give us a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'll leave you with a final question from the report, and it's a heavy one. The window to act is closing. Are we ready?